Hi, my name is Jess Osrow, and I have depression and anxiety. It's super awesome. And then I'm going to find this button and see how it works. Is the presentation happening? We can just look at me. There's no instructions up here. I apologize. Maybe. There we go. And then which button do I push? The middle button. Cool. So, hi, I'm Jess Osrow, and I have depression and anxiety. Super intense, super great. Here I am in January of 2017, hanging out with my roommates, my giant shrimp pillow, seemingly having a great time. During this time, I was also going through the largest bout of depression I'd experienced in 10 years. My long-term boyfriend broke up with me, and I went through a negatively career-altering performance review. The only place I knew to turn was one of my online communities, Dreamers and Doers. I put out there that I was feeling this way. I had nobody to go to, and I didn't know what to do next. The outpouring of support from my community was what triggered my research going further. And what we're going to talk to you about today is invisible disabilities. So what are invisible disabilities? Sounds pretty self-explanatory. It is a neurological, physical, or mental disability. They are very infrequently recognized by the government or organizations, so that's why you don't hear about them often. Here are just a few examples. Want to look around the room, everybody in here. 27% of women ages 18 to 64 will identify with a disability in some form. That's 1 in 4. It's a very large population of the workforce. It's a very large population in this room, in this conference today. If nothing else from this talk, I want to just bring awareness that 1 in 4 women are identifying with a disability and invisible disabilities. 1 in 4. This is our workforce. So I proceeded to do some interviews and start research on invisible disabilities. Got really excited about it. Nobody was talking about it. It was impacting me personally. And I applied to Grace Hopper. This was the feedback I got. Essentially, not enough people knew about what I was talking about, so I couldn't talk about it because nobody would understand what I was talking about. Seemed kind of counterproductive, but I understood where they were coming from. I got frustrated, of course, but instead, this fueled me to do more. I wanted to make sure that people were hearing about this. I personally am affected, my mother is affected, my grandmother is affected, as I'm sure many in this room are as well. That led me to further my research. I quit my job in November for a variety of reasons, including that negative performance review, and I went out to start freelancing and doing some of my own work around HR, people, and culture. I created a Google survey for women specifically, asking about their invisible disabilities, how they came about it. I was asking for details, intimate pieces of their story. Within 3 weeks, I had 102 responses that were heavy data-driven and very intense qualitatively. Women had poured their hearts and souls out to me, told me their stories about disability and bias and workplace. 60% of the women who filled out my survey were in STEM-related fields. 3 key themes came out of all of the stories. The first one was stunted career growth. All of the women had had non-traditional career trajectories, whether that was within an organization or externally. They were trying to make it work. They were trying to overcome their disabilities. They were fighting incredible imposter syndrome, and nothing they were doing was working within the traditional career path. Most of the women, if not all of them, at some point went on their own and had entrepreneurial or freelance careers. Kind of intense. You're losing a lot of people. They're doing extra entrepreneurship rather than intrapreneurship. You know, when you talk about ROI on employees, you're losing 1 in 4 women, like this tree. The upside of that is that the coping skills they learned to overcome their disabilities became their superpowers. For me, I was able to fall on my face and learn a little bit more. One of the women I interviewed had experienced narcolepsy. She went undiagnosed all through college and her 30s, or 20s and 30s. And she told me that during college, she wasn't able to do the traditional courses. She wasn't able to take notes in the same capacity. And she had to become an autodidact, which, if anybody's tried to learn anything for themselves, is really difficult. She attributes this directly to her success as a software engineer, as she taught herself and gained more experience in the field, but not through boot camp or anything else. The third common theme is a safe and supportive group, such as the image here, Dreamers and Doers, if anybody knows of that community. All of the women had their Sex and the City network group, whatever it was, whether it was in person or online, that they could turn to. For me, Dreamers and Doers, when I did that initial post, was that community. You have this then community of incredibly intelligent, high-achieving, freelancing entrepreneurship women who have each other's backs. They have imposter syndrome, but they can recognize it in someone else, but not themselves. So all of these companies are losing out on this employees. And my background is HR, and you think, all of these women are freelancers or have created their own companies. They're all supporting each other. They're all buying each other's products. They're all pushing each other to do more and further instead of inside of an organization. Maybe? So what can you do? This is kind of a depressing topic. No, whatever. It's kind of a depressing topic. You have all of these people who are going through something, and it's invisible. You can't tell what's going on. But there are positive elements. So the first thing is you can recognize that you're never going to see it, and you may not know what's going on. 90% of these women refuse to disclose to anybody in a work-related capacity that they had an invisible disability because it brought on shame, because they thought it was going to affect their salary or what they were able to earn. So you have to recognize that that's part of it. You also have to recognize, especially if you are hiring or a manager, that an employee is not just the skills listed in their job description. These women have found skills in other ways and other means and can utilize it. So, look beyond that. Talk beyond the conversation when you're talking professional growth. Recognize that you also may not know where they gain that skill, and that's not always important. It's just that they have the skill in itself. Second, empathize. We talked a lot about empathy here today, or yesterday. And what does that mean to empathize with somebody when you don't know what they're going through? If you see somebody's having a bad day, say, hey, can I help? Do you need to talk? Do you need to go take a walk? Can you go outside, grab a coffee? Recognize that people are people. Humans need things, and you may not be able to give it to them, but just offering or being there can often be support enough, especially within an organization. Third thing, lead by example. Everybody here at this conference is a leader in some capacity within diversity and inclusion, within equity and inclusion, all of the above. If you're having a bad day, take a day off, take a mental health day. Be, taking care of yourself so others might take care of themselves. If you're a manager, if you're, if you're running a company, give permission for flexible schedules. Say, you don't have to defend your choice to us. You can take a day and say, hey, I need a day. There are days where I can't get out of bed, and I need a day, and I might just need to be there and do that and snuggle my cat, and that gets me through to the next day. And if I can be an employer or, create the environment for my team, that's what I want to do. Again, awareness of disabilities, invisible disabilities, and that, again, they're invisible. So with that, again, my biggest takeaway is awareness. This is not something you're going to see. This is something that's going to directly impact the return on investment of what your hires, your coworkers, your peers. This is something that affects 1 in 4 women. 1 in 4. You look at those numbers in terms of our workforce. You look at those numbers in terms of who you're related to. And you're never going to know. So the biggest thing is, this is our workforce. This is what we have to work with. So if you can embrace it, if you can create a way for people to thrive, for people to grow, to people to learn, and maybe even an opportunity for somebody to disclose in a safe environment, that's what we need to do, and that's the workforce we need to create. Thank you.